Oh.
You are now reacting to the solo artist and dancing and vocalist Queen Chungha and her 2020 single, Stay Tonight. The song sings of looking into one's heart and showcases a vivid sense of self that suggests you stayed the night, even in a time of darkness where the flow of time is scattered. While the words of the song connotate the theme of love, the song does desire to reach out to its listeners, encouraging them to trust their time to Chungha, their time spent listening to her music. The song is composed by Vincenzo, Annie Masinga, Fuxi, and Anna Timgren. And the choreographers are Choi Ryan and Kim Ran.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
House of Love. That's the House of Love.
Yes,
mama.
House of Love. That's the house that
That's their
did
voting house.
the backup dancing too, I think. 3, 2, 1. Whew.
It's a perfume commercial. It looks like a perfume.
It does.
What is that? Oh, it's Pandora's. I saw the word Pandora on it.
I like this harp action going on in the beginning.
Yes.
Very ethereal.
Wow. Pretty. Yep. She's gotta make her entrance.
Oh.
Oh, very interesting. I love her voice.
It's like a super modern take on like an 80s beat.
The mix is pristine.
So clean. Just so clean.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, legs. Let's go.
Okay. Yep, sure. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
I like how they added the more clear bass on top of the guttural bass as the second chorus came around.
It's very futuristic, I think. And I think it, like with this like funk kind of bass going on in the background,
very
I think
funk
it
bass.
fits very well.
A man rug. And there's some spinning here. A man rug. Where do I get one? Right. Kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
Also, have you noticed that her mix and her belt are like so seamlessly sewn together?
Yeah, there's a lot of sliding work in that.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how everyone is in like these high fucking heels? Powerful shit. Oh, I love this part.
Hey, she said triplet. Uh-huh.
Love the rhythm there. It's so attractive.
Nice.
You got a piano.
With
It sounds like
highly
a piano.
filtered, highly reverb. But
Yeah.
I think it's very well done.
I agree. That was cool. Oh.
Yes, that's it. Let's go.
Yes. Ka. Hey. For the gays, by the gays.
By the gates, for real.
Beautiful.
Ripple.
Oh.
They don't just stop. They come to us. They slow to a stop. You know, there's a lot of cannons in the canon is one after the other, right? I wanna
Yeah.
make sure. Okay, there's a lot of that. Like, you know, and that's a really easy way to take one movement, make it memorable, and also make it interesting to watch. It's really cool.
It's interesting how much just like playing with the density of textures in a song will like really have a compositional effect without actually doing anything. Like they had a beat drop and the beat didn't change. They just orchestrated it differently. They took everything away except for the bass. Right now I'm pretty sure, yeah, they just took away the bass and beat, but kept everything else the same. Just changed the orchestration and it totally feels like a new section. Like even here, it's still the same beat, but it feels like something new.
There was also like a lot of really cool sections. I don't think it was anything like maybe like super new or earth-shattering, but like, man, did I love it. I was like, this is a recipe I vibe with. Her voice is great.
Yeah, it was good.
Like, would put this on my iPod and listen to it on the way home right now. I might do that. I will probably do that.
What was it about the different sections and like the variants that made it work?
Man, listening to the beginning again after listening to the whole song feels so weird because it's so different, but it all fits together, which maybe that's what's so cool is like they can be different and have variation, but still keep the same tone and fit well together. Because it's not like a weird tone shift for a lot of them. Where you're like, whoa, the mood is totally different. Like it still feels like the same arch. It's because when you split off into that, like, okay, because the textures, like, sometimes they're fuller, sometimes they're less full, but they usually take from that same sound of, like, the retro throwback feel. Like, they'll come back and it'll only be bass, but that bass is very, like, whop, 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 whop. Like, it still has that same sound, so it keeps the mood. At least that's my opinion.
So I actually just searched up Bob Fosse because a lot of their movements really gave me, like, Bob Fosse vibes. It was a lot of, like, hand movements and, like, slow, but also like sensual, I feel like. And I thought it really went well with the music and the vibes that it was giving. It gave me a lot of disco because the sounds they were using was a lot of like, it wasn't very syncopated, but it was more like subdividing within the beat and a lot of synthetic bass sounds, but not super low. It's like mid-low, I would want to say. And I really liked her voice. Like when you told me she was an dancer, I was like, okay, so it's just gonna be a lot of just syncopation, heavy, like, but she actually sang like really well. I was like, okay, because she went to a full head voice. And then she also showed off her falsetto, which was really strong. So I was like, oh, okay, she's versatile. I feel like with K-pop singers, they really have to good at both. They get really good singers and dancers, but most of the time singing isn't really like, you know, put at the forefront. But in order for you to be a K-pop solo artist, you really have to have both really well. And like she just proved why she's a solo K-pop artist because she can do both very, very well.
The thing about Chungha, right, that I've noticed, she's just such a good performer. She can make like walking look like dancing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there is a way to do that, you know.
But it just, I don't know, she walks so, it looks so good when she's just walking. Like,
so what happens when you know how to walk with purpose, you know? When you're on the runway, they teach you how to walk. Like, there's a certain way you're saying, that's, whoa.
Okay. It's very nice to see voguing being utilized in K-pop. I do not claim to be an expert in voguing at all, but I did recognize a lot of like the very basic steps that you'll usually see in ballroom whenever like two people are facing off. In voguing, like a lot of like I'm really terrible at it, but there were some very gentle they'll call them like either death drops or shawams or whatever. Like, but yeah, it was really cool to see them pay homage to that style and they did a really good job. It was very subtle, but like not all voguing has to be really intense and like whacking and stuff.
And Chungha is a whacker. That's why her lines are really
It's
pretty.
true.
And she really knows her body and really knows how she moves and how well she looks when she moves. Oh my god, I love her so much. Just really good stuff. Really, really impactful. And like right now we see a lot more like voguing influenced elements in K-pop, and it's nice that Chungha like brought on the actual like dancers that are involved in the community into her videos, and she actually even gave them a spot, like a section to shine at the end when they did all the
I love it.
Yeah, that section.
Voguing itself, it looks like, you know, very pretty and like picturesque, but trying to get your hands to like move in those angles,
feels extremely unnatural.
It does.
So
it
like,
does.
Yeah. So when you see it really well done like that, it's like that they're very good dancers.
Yeah.
In that way. My favorite part, quite honestly, was the chorus. Like, I don't know if it's the pre-chorus or the chorus, where they would all turn and literally just stop and look at the camera. Like that was the choreography, and they would just they would lip sync.
Yes.
It goes with the style as well as like voguing. It's a very, very performative style, and like your face is extremely important. So like
Expressions.
when they did that and then they like walked forward with it, it was like it just felt like home. Like it felt correct.
It felt like home. Yes,
Yeah.
it did. The choreography felt like home. Woo!
How they would build in and out of the chorus, both with the choreography and just kind of how Raph mentioned earlier, how they would break things down and slightly change textures, and it'd feel like a whole new section, but not much is like being changed. Like just kind of like that tension resolution aspect of music, not necessarily harmonically, but just with like feel, I thought was utilized really well with the different choreography, which I thought was really cool.
What it seems to me was like the build up, you know, into that chorus, I was expecting something very extravagant to come. You know, most of the time when you have, you know, like such a leading, like percussive aspect to you know, like a song, you expect there to be just this grandiose chorus. But with her concept of speaking about, you know, the idea of time being scattered, either with somebody you want to spend the night with, or if you're listening to her music, when people are in the midst of feeling that time is not, you know, like in COVID-19 times right now, where time is something that's, you know, non-apparent, and it's kind of confusing, and it's causing anxiety or issues, or it's causing a feeling of nothingness. Her chorus really accentuated the idea of time. So it pulls you in, one, because sonically it's interesting to listen to, but two, it's kind of, you know, poetically parallel to her idea of, I guess, just time, you know, playing with time, even when time is like non-existent in one's own reality. So I guess.
There wasn't like a lot of like, you know, embellishments or stuff like that, but she was able to make it interesting, like you said before, like the way that she's like playing around with, you know, triplets and stuff, and just, yeah. And just visually, it was just very, very cool to watch, yeah.
The bridge at the end, I want to figure out what they're doing there really fast.
So okay, so D minor, right?
Wait, I would treat it not as
D
a C
natural
minor.
Wait.
Wait.
You wouldn't treat it as a C minor.
Huh?
Treat it because
You
it's
wouldn't treat it.
It's because
as
it's going.
C
The
minor?
bass is
Well,
going to a B
that's how I
flat.
heard it, so we're gonna do it.
Wait, no,
so
no,
we
no,
got
no,
these.
no, no.
Okay. Well, anyway, let me just play you the notes. This is clearly a highly debatable music theory problem, but
Fair enough.
So the song is very much in D minor. All the chords that she goes through are within these notes. It's like different octaves. And then near the end, well, at somewhere in the bridge, she went, it's very subtle. And I like how it's mixed, how I didn't even hear it the first time. That's cool. Notice the color change. Whoa! So disregarding that one chord, which I think is really cool, I think the rest of the song is definitely one of the most interesting songs that's completely diatonic, meaning completely using the notes of the scale and sticking to the notes of the scale. But a lot of it is because the instrumental timbres are really cool and super sick.
I would agree with you. I think the timbres and also the articulations are what makes this song really work for me. How nicely she cuts off, how nicely she articulates the ba 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 da da.
Oh yeah, her articulation is really good. She definitely sells the melody as much as she could have.
So you guys were talking a lot about her vocal technique. Do you guys care to go more in detail into like the melt, the head and belt mix thing? And you talked about slat and.
Yeah, well, I think the best place to hear it is kind of in the beginning when the melodic line goes up and she's choosing to slide to those, because like what Sam mentioned was like the mix, the belt is seamless because you could have this kind of weird. You hear it in guys right, like you like would crack, you know, because there's that like passaggio there. But what she's done, I mean, it takes a lot of work. Is there's like these slide exercises, all this stuff, like a lot of classical musicians and like musical theater peeps and pop peeps, everybody does it. And so she's created a balance in all of her registers. So for the tessitura of this piece, it really is on display because she's constantly going between those notes.
Definitely, I paid attention most to her vocal abilities, and once I hooked onto that, I couldn't really stop listening to it. So it was very wonderful to hear.
That's awesome, because you say that you usually, even though you're a vocalist, you tend to listen to the instrumental and harmony first, but she really hooked you in with her voice.
Yeah, there were definitely some really cool chord moments. There was a moment where it was descending half-step chords down that I just made me gush and made me say, wow, I can't believe you did that, while also belting. And when that happened, I knew that I really, really enjoyed this song. So this was wonderful.